Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cultists After Party. I am Heath Robinson. I'm the creator, producer, and co-writer of the show. I also played Steve in season 2. And joining me tonight is Brianna da Silva. Welcome.
Hello, Brianna da Silva and Levi the Bearded Dragon, who is falling asleep.
I was about to say, we also have Levi, so we do have an extra guest today. Levi is joining us this evening.
Yes, he will not be saying anything, though, because he cannot talk.
So, welcome. It's so good to see everybody. We've got Left Spin here. Welcome. Great to see you. Retro Nerd Girl is here. Hello, Retro Nerd Girl. Glad to see you. Be sure everybody checks out her channel as well. She's always talking about stuff in media reviews and movie reviews. I was actually watching your Planet of the Apes review. Was that today or yesterday? But Retro Nerd Girl says, hello, I binged season 1 and 2 today and just caught episode 9. Well, welcome. Nice. welcome. And Left Spin calls out, hello, Levi. So love for Levi in the chat as well. Let's talk about the episode.
Sure.
All right. Add this.
Roddick, thank you for.
And all right, let's go.
Father Roddick, thank you for coming.
Now you want to talk about the actor there?
Yeah, so he actually auditioned in season 1
So quickly.
He came, and so I mean, props to him, because there wasn't actually any role there that that was for someone of his age group. But he just came and he auditioned anyway, and he was kind of on our radar. And so when we were working on season 2, I was thinking back to that guy, and I was like, oh yeah, we already have someone on our radar that would be perfect for this part. So I guess that's a good lesson of, like, sometimes it's good to just be bold, you know? What are you doing?
Right. Well, I knew him because he did was doing like Star Trek fan film acting around Birmingham, and so that's how I was connected. Then I was like, the look, he's got the perfect look for the priest.
Please come in.
Thank you.
And once again.
Yeah, it's good timing to see that again, because things are about to not be happy.
So, what seems to be the problem?
It's my son Mike. He's possessed.
Oh, dear.
And I think it's spreading to my daughter.
Oh, no.
Can you exorcise the demons? You're all I have left.
I'll evaluate the boy. And if the demons of hell have possession of his body, I'll free his soul.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
They both, I just want to say, they both had some pretty good timing in that scene. You know, timing is obviously so important in humor. And it was funny because I think we did both of those scenes of him coming in and then them sitting down, like 2 takes maybe. And he was like, oh, only 2 takes. I guess he was used to taking a lot more, but I mean, once you've got it, I just move forward. I'm one of those directors that want to waste time.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it feels like we have to fight for it, like this next scene that we're about to get into. But other times it works.
And that's why, because it's like sometimes you never know which scene is going to be difficult and complicated. So if you've got the scene, move on, so you have the extra time in case you need it later.
What's that hideous smell?
Probably not.
And this was one of the reasons why this was so difficult is because it was such a tight location.
Yeah, there's a tight location, and it was an action scene, so to speak. There's a lot of movement, so there was a lot of blocking, a lot of coordination, and it took us a while to figure out how to do all that and where it was most practical to put the camera to capture all that. There are a lot of different angles. It took a while to get this scene.
Yeah, I remember there were a lot of us standing outside because ordinarily when we're in Mike's room, we're just recording Mike shooting some kind of monologue or something like that's going on. And but here, we're about to have an action scene. Of course, you're not seeing. You've got probably 3 or 4 actors that are going to come in here, and then plus camera. You're in there.
Yeah.
Plus the camera's in there. Was there the audio guy still in there?
Yeah, and we needed audio. Yeah, we needed the boom mic. So it was Oh my god. Oh my god. Jeez. He almost jumped off of me. 1 second. I think he wants to go back into his cage. I'm sorry, everyone. Okay. I get it. Okay. We want to go back in there. Oh
yeah, I remember, of course, Brianna is the director here. So I just remember sitting outside, like running. I don't remember what I was running, but we were sitting outside this room and this tiny room, and everybody had to go in there. This was the scene that took a lot of shots. We shot all of the scenes with the priest in one day. So it was good that the earlier ones went smoothly, went fast, because this one took a while. And Retro Nerd Girl is talking about Rebecca Yeager, the actress playing the mom, is outstanding. She absolutely
She actually teaches acting. I think I don't remember the exact relationship, but I want to say she has taught Peter, who plays Mike. I think that's how they knew each other beforehand. So.
Well, she may have taught Peter, but I know that she was Megan and Brennan's theater instructor.
Okay, maybe that was the connection. Yeah, I might be wrong.
Because I think Brennan said, I know exactly who can play the mother, Rebecca Yeager.
Oh, you're right. I may be misremembering. Yeah.
Yeah, she's incredible.
And dirty socks. Who are you?
No, something else. Something unholy.
Look, you can't just barge into my room.
This. What is this?
Incense for Yog-Sothoth?
I knew it.
Hey!
I've seen all I need to see.
What's going on?
This is for your own good, honey.
Remove thine evil robe from thine body.
What?
Oh yeah, I was just saying, like, another thing that was like a complicated thing. Like, you write certain things in a script, and then you get to the scene, and you're trying to make it all happen, and you realize that some things may take longer than you thought. So, like, for example, him taking those items, and then I think there was another step that he needed to do, and we just had to like cut that out because it was so awkward. Like, you would think that you would just take it out and do the action, but when you were actually filming it, it was agonizingly slow and awkward. And so yeah, that was one of those things that we were trying to coordinate. We're like, what's going on? So I think we just cut it. We might have literally like done this scene in multiple parts, so that and of course, I mean, cutting it in the edit too, but yeah.
I think I do remember that, and I remember that we were dropping things he had to do in the room because it was like, how do we get him from like all of his tools and equipment, his satchel or his pack or whatever, and then into action as the Exorcist. And yeah, that was taking way too long. In fact, I think I'm going to talk about making the exorcism equipment because that was fun. Yeah. But like we had like a weird, not realistic setup of like the holy water and stuff that was in his pouch because he like had to have it like ready. So like you couldn't splash it around because it was ready to go in the pouch, and you had to pull that out and get it ready. Oh, yeah. In like no time. I mean, it works though. It works now. I don't think you'd ever notice it when you're watching this.
Except that we just pointed out, but yeah.
Well, right. I know we do that on these after parties. That happens, but it flows together. I think in a reasonable way, a realistic looking way, even though, we had to completely speed this along in order to get it going.
No way.
Do what
this object now. See, I don't even know. Did it get on camera? Okay, so he's got the cross, but you can see that you can see the water. Yeah,
you can see the little sprays.
But I don't know if we actually got the prop after all of that on screen. Look for what I think you will see it, but look for what he's like. He's got this in his hand right here, and what he's got in his hand. Yeah, I made because it's called an aspergillum. This is one of the tools for sprinkling holy water. And so what an aspergillum is this sticks, kind of like a wand kind of thing. And then it's got this contraption that's got holes in it, like a metal ball on the top that's got holes in it. And then the metal ball can open, and then you can put a sponge inside and close back up the ball. And then when you dip the aspergillum in holy water, the sponge absorbs the holy water. And then if you need to sprinkle holy water, like during an exorcism, then you flick the aspergillum. Mm-hmm. This is an important tool for your D&D clerics. You're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Make sure you tell your dungeon master you want to have an aspergillum with you so that you can do this when exorcising demons yourself. But they were too expensive. I was looking for an aspergillum just like a Catholic or Christian supply store or something like that. But many of the ones that I found were highly ornate. And so they were too expensive. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to make this aspergillum, and the aspergillum. That I should show more of the props because I've still got this. But this aspergillum, you know, the funnels that you use to fill up flasks, like a whiskey flask. You know what a whiskey flask. Somebody keeps their back pocket or something like that. Take a shot of whiskey. Yeah. So you got to fill that in some way. So it comes with a funnel that just a metal funnel that you can fill up your flask with. But I realized if you put two of those funnels together and then punched holes in it and glued those together and then put it on a stick, you had an aspergillum. So I'll have to shoot that in a video sometime. Show that. That was one of my favorite props.
From my body.
What? No way.
Do what he says, Mike.
Never.
What is going on?
Oh, Father Roddick is here to help us with our problem.
They're trying to take my robe again.
Can't you just wear the robe? It's important to him.
It's evil. I have had enough of demonic forces in this house. It must be burned.
No.
Oh, good.
Good. Well, I was going to say, we're seeing the change in Dad here.
Right. So it's an important character development moment for him because now, we've established their relationship. Now he's gonna have to make a choice. I was just gonna say that another like blocking and coordination kind of a thing was that there were some takes earlier where this was feeling really awkward and unconvincing, and we had to like make it feel more like could position him more so like he's like in Mike's way. So that Mike actually, can't leave without like hurting this old guy. Just a random side note. I was like, there's so many difficulties.
Well, and like I'm sure you notice. I mean, obviously because you're the director here, but if you're looking at this, like this shot right here, obviously has Brennan with the camera outside the room. So we've got two different shots in here. Sometimes it's being filmed from within the room. And then we had to redo the scene with exterior shots in order to get shots like this.
And we would play through almost the whole scene. I think we didn't always do the whole scene, but just the parts that we thought we might want to use from this angle. But it's also like sometimes even if you don't want to use the whole scene from that angle, it's helpful for actors to still play through the whole thing because then they can like they're in the rhythm and they're in the flow. So that's usually what you want to default to anyway.
I think Plus History is talking about the aspergillum. That's really very interesting. I'll put in the chat the way the word is spelled in case I'm not saying it perfectly, but there you go. If you want to look that up, that's what it is. So I put down, make a video because I want to make some videos on the tattoo and the branding. And I've got the aspergillum, so we'll show that off sometime too. All right.
I thought you would understand that.
No. Wait. No. Please. Stop. Oh, you can't. Oh, please. You can't do
Now
it.
we have.
You can't.
Yes. We have the answer now for how she removed it the first time, I suppose.
Yeah, and I also remember that this was another thing that had to be sped up because as we were sitting there playing this out,
it was awkward.
Like, it actually takes a long, awkward amount of time for her to actually get that off of him. Mm-hmm. But the way it comes across here, she does it and it works. Yeah.
And it wasn't always easy to do either. There's definitely an outtake. I don't know if it made it into the bloopers or not, but where he was like, I can't breathe. It was like starting to like get stuck on him. Yeah.
I am your mother. It is gone for good this time.
No.
Move.
I love that from Mother. The move.
Yeah. She that was unscripted. That was just something that she did in the moment.
And it's such a commanding motherly thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mother taking charge. Look there's the aspergillum. There,
you can see it.
It made it in.
It's blurry, but
compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
Father,
the power of
please.
Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels.
Star Wars.
We went over the script of Return of the Jedi. We went over the
we watched it to try to match it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We're like, okay, now what exactly happens here?
We really like our references in this show. There's so many of them. We're so silly.
And Peter was like, when he was reading the script, it's like, okay, so we're doing Star Wars, right? And we're like, yes.
Yeah.
Compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
No! Mike! Run! Go now!
This was their idea too, to like hold him down like that, and all this, like him, like, you know, making all that noise and him being like, you know, hold still a little bit, like that's just them. That's not in the script. Because whereas we wanted to make sure that he was going to be, you know, that he was going to be safe, like whatever we did, didn't want to hurt him, and so, but he was like, we did that, and he's like, oh yeah, this is fine. We can do this. We just knock him on the bed gently.
But you know, but it comes across more violent than it was, of course, when we were doing it, and it's
right.
So good. We thought about all different ways for this to go with like unlimited budget, because we were like, we could really reenact also Darth Vader's throwing the Emperor down the bottomless pit.
Defenestration.
Right, because we had thought it would be so great if Dad picks up the priest and is like walking over to the open window and flings the priest out of the window.
We're so mad that we could have done that.
And Dad, that would have been so cool. Like the Father Roddick is down there, like in the begonias or something. Like that. They just take it out,
like his legs just poking out or something.
Les Ben says, "Son, that's not the first time we've been the targets of exorcisms. We're learning a lot more about Dad."
Little man! Stop struggling!
Let me out!
Stop it! Hold still!
What do you think?
I should point out as well that the shirt that Mike is wearing, even underneath his robe, now that is a shirt that is based on art by David LaRocca. And that is Yog-Sothoth Knows the Gate.
Yeah, so it's like even under his robe, he's still wearing his cultist stuff. He's really into Yog-Sothoth. He's really into Yog-Sothoth.
So that was one of the shirts. I'll post a link to it. That was one of the shirts that we designed when I was with Infinite Black. We did a series of Journey to the Tree of Sorrow shirts. I love them. I still wear them all the time. But I thought that it was perfect that that Mike, even under his robe, because he worships Yog-Sothoth, of course, that he would still be wearing a Yog-Sothoth Knows the Gate shirt under his robe. And so those are actually available over on infiniteblack.net. I'm not with Infinite Black anymore, but I'm going to post a link there because you can get that shirt.
If you want it.
You can actually
it is yours.
have that shirt. And Jason says comfortable tees. They are. I love mine. I've got the entire, I mean, obviously I had them because you've
worn them on
prototypes of them. And I've worn them on live streams. I was wearing them on I like them. So they're, Infinite Black does have them.
Yep, and so we actually burned a couple robes. I think we did two. I think we did two, and to get that. So
the fire scene.
It wasn't two entire robes. It was two pieces of robes. I think it was actually torn apart.
Oh yeah, I think we had one robe and we tore it apart so that we could have a couple of takes. Because I also remember actually this taking a while. Because we
had to make the fire and make sure it looked good on camera, and then the actual burning of the robe took a while, and so we just kept filming the whole time and just had her keep doing stuff, and then just cut out the moments that we liked most. So I say it was me. But
well, I just remember for some reason this being complicated because obviously Brennan here is standing where Peter is standing.
The complication you're thinking of might be when we were shooting the other way, because that one was a little bit difficult to because we were trying to make sure that we could see him well, but then not get too many distracting reflections in the glass. So the reverse shot from outside was complicated. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I even think, getting him visible was it. Yeah, the reflections, and also making sure that Brennan's camera wasn't in the reflection.
Yeah, that Brennan's camera wasn't, and that like there just wasn't a lot of other stuff that was distracting too.
Mom.
Major character moment.
Yes, because basically, this is a moment where he feels that she has betrayed him. So his alliances are different now. His dad was for him, that's there for him, but she was not. So,
Austin, good to see you. Austin says late, but hey, no problem. Come catch up with us. We're having a good time. And the wine was brought up on the other stream. The premiere. Yeah, very mom. Mom's having a hard time. Mom's having a hard time.
Side note, the fact that she's kind of like swaying and clearly drunk here implies that either she gets drunk really fast or she was already well on her way during the whole exorcism thing.
Well, I
wasn't showing it.
I thought that was what it was. I thought she had started before.
That's what I'm implying.
Yeah.
The other option is not very possible.
Retro Nerd Girl says, I love the way he says mom. I do too.
Yeah.
There's a lot, like I've said it before on some of these after parties, but the range of emotions that are being explored in this season is so much more than it was in season 1. And I really like that about this season. And that scene when he's saying mom and we're having this big emotional turn, Peter captured it. You're absolutely right, Retro Nerd Girl. And I think it's a big moment.
Yep, that's the shortest episode of them all.
Yeah, I think it was the shortest episode of all Cultist episodes, because I think it was a difficult one to plan because it had the exorcism. Oh, Jay's here too. Hey, Jay, great to have you. Great to have you. Because we had the exorcism written in it. I mean, this episode obviously has the exorcism written in the script, but it was so difficult to judge how long that was actually going to take. And then there was so much that we talked about that we had to revise and figure out in the moment for the exorcism anyway. You've got however many pages worth of script, but in the scene like that, it had just become what it was. But does anybody have questions or comments for today's episode or anything else you would like to say, Brianna, on that for just a moment?
Yeah, I can comment on graphic design again, or on learning screenwriting and things like that, because those are things that have been on my mind lately. So
yeah, well, that would be an interesting topic because Brianna and I have been meeting at least once a week, but to talk about the development of more stories and where we're going from here.
I'll give a little update on that. I'll tell them about my status.
Okay, excellent. And I will. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So, all right, have at it.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I've mentioned in some of these live streams before that I've been working on what was my first ever feature length screenplay. So that's a big deal. It's like writing your first novel. The first time's always the hardest. And so I finished it about a week and a half ago, or I guess 2 weeks ago. So yay, that was pretty exciting. That's my first draft, of course. So there's obviously a lot of work still to be done, but so I feel like one of the things that's really great, especially coming from writing novels, if there's anyone here that's watching that's more familiar with writing novels, learning how to write for the screen actually is really helpful, even though it's a completely different format and it's definitely different skill sets. I found that it's making me a much better storyteller. I think probably you get the same thing out of it, or similar thing from writing like short stories too. Being able to just practice compressing your story, it really helps you think about just on a higher level about what's essential and what isn't. Austin Carter asks, what's your favorite part about writing? I don't know how to answer that. It's like I write because for the same reason I breathe. So I don't even know what's my favorite part about writing. I'm going to try to answer that honestly. I think it has something to do with like, this is going to sound cheesy, but it's like being able to connect your soul like with other people's souls in a sense. And for me, that's one of the ways to do. I mean, some people do it different ways. For some people, it's music. For other people, maybe it's acting or something like that. For me, it's writing a story. It's like the only way to really get to the things that really matter about like what it means to be human and what it means to be a good person and all these kinds of things that we communicate these things via story. And so that is one of the things that brings me back to it again and again. But yeah, thanks, Purple Hound.
Hound says, wow,
Yeah.
congrats. I guess you were talking about did you say the name of it?
Oh, no, I didn't. It's Dark
I didn't know.
Goddess,
I didn't know.
I'm not,
okay.
I'm not going to talk about it publicly, really, because there's no need to. But
Right. Well, I didn't want to say the name if you hadn't said it. That's what I was saying, because you were talking about having finished the Dark Goddess first draft of the script.
The first draft of my first time writing screenplay, and I just yesterday. What is today? Today's 2 days ago. I started on my second screenplay, so I wanted to immediately. I was almost ready to write another one. I had a little bit of preparatory work, but I wanted to switch immediately into doing another couple first drafts of screenplays because I feel like that would get me in a good momentum, and then come back and try to edit them. I think this is a good strategy because already I find that like I'm only a few pages into my second screenplay, but I can already feel like I'm writing better, like I'm writing the screenplay format better the second time versus like if I went back and started editing the first one, it's a different mindset as opposed to shifting and immediately starting on a new one. So I feel like it's helping me continue to grow my skills there. So yeah.
Yeah, Brianna has gotten out ahead of me. I've told people on the morning grind that I've had a very productive meeting yesterday and about moving forward with one of the Tales of Repavania stories.
Yeah.
But Brianna, because Brianna, I've been working together, and she's just blowing the house down getting these scripts written.
Well, it took a long time to get the story down for Dark Goddess. I spent most of this year on the story, I would say. And then, I mean, I also had a lot of stuff going on personally. I wasn't writing the whole time, but I spent most of this year was working on that story, thinking about it, and on the one that I just started on the other day. I was thinking about both those stories. And then I finally, when I started writing it, it just took a few months, I guess, to really do it. But I'm going to try to do this next one in 1 month. It's a easier story, but yeah. There's another question here for us.
Yeah. Retro Nerd Girl. In fact, I was just bringing up the PDF so we could answer Retro Nerd Girl's question. Retro Nerd Girl says, I write as well. How many pages would you say this episode was alone? I'm
guessing 5 or 6. The thing is if you're writing screenplays, it's most of the time it's not perfect, but it's going to be about 1 page per 1 minute. So if you're writing, a 2-hour movie, you want to have about 120 pages. There are some exceptions to that. I've learned, for example, horror screenplays tend to have much fewer pages because, something like she creeps down the hallway could take 1 sentence to say, but it could take you 30 seconds because you're really, spreading out the tension of that, prolonging it as much as possible. So, but for the most part, in most genres, you can expect about 1 page per minute. If you're doing the correct format, which you have to do.
I was just counting. Yeah, I was just counting. And this episode script, as it was written when Brianna and I wrote it, is 4.5 pages.
Oh, so God, that's even shorter than I thought. How many minutes is the actual episode, the final
Isn't
episode?
It like 3.5?
Oh, yeah. Because that tells you that we cut some things. Yeah, it's super short. It was weird because most of the time we wanted our episodes to be about 10 pages. And that one, it was just narratively, it felt weird to put more in. It was like...
Right. It was a narrative thing. And then also... so much unknown about the action scene that was it. If you're interested, the entire season 2 scripts are 72 1/8 pages. Yeah. So just on to the 73rd page, basically 72 pages is the entire season 2 script. So, all right, Jay's headed out. All right. So Brianna, where can everybody find you and follow what you are doing and
well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, let's just search my name, but I'm not really giving a lot of updates. At some point, I'm going to have I'm going to revamp my newsletter, and that is at briannadasilva.blog/subscribe. But yeah, or you can just check in here, and I'll probably show up sometimes and tell you what I'm doing.
We're checking here. We need to be doing more here. I think I would like to be doing more. And Brianna and I have been talking about different ideas for shows. I think I've got some great ways to be able to produce some more shows faster for everybody. That's going to be great. There's only one more Cultists, so that means we're going to need some other shows on Friday nights after that. And I've got several different ideas for that because we've tried to do stuff, but it just hasn't. We hadn't gotten the traction yet. But I think we're about to. So there can be other things that go on Friday nights. I got ideas for shows, other things to pilot. I got Heather. If you're still here, we're still going to do the like a crafting corner or a crafter's corner or creatives corner where we paint our miniatures and do all of that. And I don't think I'm going to be able to organize that for this week, but maybe next week do a pilot for that. We'll get a panel to talk during that because I have a good discussion because I figured if it's just me sitting here painting my miniatures, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a good show. So I want to get together. That's why I don't think it can be this week, but I was thinking maybe Sunday afternoons before the wind down. Maybe we can do that. So more stuff coming. Brianna, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you. I was sad I couldn't come last week, but it sounds like you guys had a good discussion anyway.
We did. Yeah, this will not be another 4-hour live stream. We'll go for just a few minutes with the wind down, take other questions and things like that. But yeah, it was really good. I really appreciate your being here. I think this was a great discussion. Those will be some fun things to put out. And I think we should do more of it. I think reading The Children of Huron and then talking about it online would be a great idea.
All right.
Thank you so much,
right.
Brianna.
Yes, and you all have a great night.
All right, I'm going to take you down.